The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection. Headline edition will bring you special reports and activities in a moment.
How you doing? This is the guy from Pittsburgh. I love that picture. I've tried to insert pictures into my videos. It ain't working. Well, this afternoon I will be calling Gabcast. Whether or not they'll answer the phone is another question. Whether or not Mikey, Mr. Stalin, will let me on the air, that's also another question. But right now I want to talk about weird paranormal stuff, and I'm going to talk about a subject that's right up Noory's alley. Phantom clowns. Well, you remember John Wayne Gacy, child molester and killer. They found little kids' bodies buried under his house, and he liked to dress up as clowns and go to parties and entertain kids so he could molest them. And he's dead now, and I hope he's burning in hell. But Loren Coleman, in his book Mysterious America, 1983, said that these stories originated in Boston with reports of men dressed as clowns trying to lure children into vans. There were more reports of clown men in vans bothering children, and then the sightings spread to surrounding cities. Eventually there were sightings all over the country. In 10 states, in different parts of the country, no abductions occurred, no arrests were made, but there were stories of clowns in vans. Other outbreaks occurred in the early 80s, and the phantom clowns and the clown statue have little in common, apart from a malevolent clown character. And there's a story about a clown statue that attacks people. But there was a horror movie, Poltergeist, where a creepy clown terrorized 2 young children in their bedroom. Stephen King movie, Pennywise the Dancing Clown, had a child-killing monster, and demonic clowns drove the plots of Killer Clowns from Outer Space, one of my favorite movies, and Clown House in 1990. But I remember listening to either Art Bell or George Noory, and they were stories of people in the Midwest attacking people with clowns. Not attacking people with clowns, clowns going after people in parks and things. And a lot of people have coulrophobia, a fear of clowns, including George Noory. And I think clowns are creepy myself. So what's about the clowns? And now let's go to another story. Let's see, I got that one. Just a minute. Oh yeah, the clown statue. Here's the clown statue story. Let's see, did I get that one or not? Maybe not. Hold on. Well, I don't seem to have that one. I thought I did. Well, there's a story about the babysitter. A girl in her teens is babysitting for a family in Newport Beach, California. The family is wealthy and has a large house with a lot of rooms. The parents are going out for a late dinner movie. The father tells the babysitter when the children are in bed she should go into a specific room and watch TV there. The parents take off. The babysitter gets her kids into the house, goes in the room to watch TV. She tries watching TVs, but is disturbed by a clown statue. I do have it. Okay, I hadn't read this all the way through. In the corner of the room, she tries to ignore the statue as long as possible. She totally freaks out. She can't handle it. She calls the father and asks, the kids are in bed, but if it's okay, I switch rooms. The clown statue is really creeping me out. The father says, go get the kids, go next door and call 911. She says, what's going on? Just go next door and call the police, call me back. She gets the kids, goes next door, calls the police. The police are on the way. She calls the father back, what's going on? We don't have a clown statue. He explains the children were complaining about a clown watching them sleep. He and his wife had just blown it off, figuring they were having nightmares. The cops come and apprehend the clown, who turns out to be a midget clown, or little people, as is politically correct nowadays. I guess he was some homeless person dressed as the clown who got into the house and had been living there for several weeks. He would come into the kids' room at night and watch them while they slept. As the house is so large, he was able to avoid detection, surviving off their food. He'd been in the TV room not right before the babysitter came in. When she entered, he didn't have enough time to hide, so he froze in place and pretended to be a statue. So that's another urban legend. Who knows if it happened or not, but it's kind of neat. In England, a shopper had sex in the, what do you call that thing? Not trunk, hood of her car with a guy she just met. So that's a story in the news. I didn't have the whole thing about that. Great comment on Twitter by Jelly Icky Mud. I wonder how many more blurry photos of non-specific ocean garbage will be privileged to see this week. And there was a comment about Courtney Love that Bill Maher said, leave her alone, because she is at least trying to find a needle in a haystack. And if anybody knows anything about needles, it's Courtney Love. A terrible comment. There's even a volunteer thing where they're taking pictures of satellites and people are posting them all over the web. So volunteers are looking for this plane that's missing. Here's a story. A 26-year-old woman was arrested for indecent exposure. She shows up at the Arlington County Magistrate's office demanding to see her jailed husband. This was in the Washington Post. Mara Fussell from Reston appeared to be intoxicated, and was given several opportunities to put her clothes back on. She refused her clothes in a cab ride home and spent the night in the county jail. The two were not reunited in jail because it houses male and female inmates in separate areas. The papers said it was unclear if her husband was in jail, but the two were released the next day. So, there's that story. I guess love knows no bounds. And I love this one. This was in SF Gate. Man wearing trash bag as a disguise aggressively robs Selena's Jack-in-the-Box at gunpoint. Man wearing a trash bag robbed cash registers at a Jack-in-the-Box. And then he fled on a bicycle. Now, all these guys riding bicycles, they don't have cars. They can't afford cars. I don't know if... I know a lot of the druggies that the cops have talked to me about are running around with suspended licenses, so their cars got taken away. That's why you see these guys riding bicycles day and night. I walked home one night, 3 in the morning. There was a guy riding a bicycle at 3 a.m. God knows where he was going. Anyway, they were called Thursday about a robbery by a man armed with a semi-automatic handgun. Now, how do you know this if you're working at Jack-in-the-Box? I mean, I go in, order my burger, my 2 tacos for $1, and are there experts at the Jack-in-the-Box and Selena's that can tell between a semi-automatic and an automatic? How how do the employees know it's a semi-automatic? Most people wouldn't know the difference. I got gun books over there. I could look it up when I got home. But when I got robbed with a guy with a 44 Automag. The cop said, "What kind was it?" I said, "How do I know? I just know it's a 44 because I recognized it." But I couldn't tell him what. There's about 200 different types of 44 Automags, or manufacturers anyway. I had to come home and look it on the net the next day. So anyway, the suspect was a man in his 30s, disguised himself by donning a trash bag over a long-sleeve shirt. He waved the handgun in front of employees, jumped over the front counter, ordered employees to open the cash registers. He pointed the gun at the employees and at one point placed the barrel of the gun into the mouth of a worker. The armed suspect stuffed stolen cash into a double bag, jumped back over the counter. This guy is athletic. We should have got him for the Olympics in Sochi or something. And robbed a patron. The guy was greedy. Bad enough he robbed a Jack in the Box. He ripped off poor guy trying to get a hamburger. I hope Jack in the Box gave the poor schmuck a free hamburger. And he exited the store, got on the bicycle, was last seen riding south down Main Street. So there's a Jack-in-the-Box robber. Let's see. Unemployment rose last week to 320,000. Wall Street was looking for claims to rise to 325,000. Okay. Just trying to clear some of this stuff out. Single-family homes fell 0.4%, 4.6 million units in February, so that's not doing great. Nobody's buying old homes, probably because nobody has an old job. And here's a study. 2 new studies tout health benefits to eating dark chocolate. Antioxidant compounds are found to calm inflammation throughout the body, and especially in cardiovascular tissue, which could reduce the risk of stroke. Chocolate may stop some factors that lead to hardening the arteries. So that's an interesting story. I don't like the taste of dark chocolate, but unless it's Dove, I like that stuff. Well, I haven't been looking for much weird news yet, but I thought I'd clear that up. Oh yeah, wait a minute, I got another story here. I've been there. Stowe Lake, Golden Gate Park, San Francisco. There's a lake named Stowe Lake, and the lake is named after the former director of the park. He's buried in Mountain View. And the park is the most visited city park in the U.S. It's modeled after Central Park, built during the same period, has 1,000+ acres of parkland. Includes the Young Museum, the Japanese Tea Garden, the Conservatory of Flowers, the Beach Chalet, Spreckles Park, the Science Museum with all the sharks and all the fish. And when I was a kid, it was $3. Now they want $25 to get into that place. And yeah, it's one of the most haunted places. Supposedly, it's got ghosts. There's an urban legend that's been going around for 100 years, and this woman was supposedly sitting there with another person, and the earliest record of the legend was in the San Francisco Chronicle in 1908. A mysterious figure blocked a car on the way out of the park. Police later pulled the owner of the car over, Arthur Pigeon, for speeding. It was a tall, thin-figured white pigeon, told the Chronicle. It seemed to shine. It had long, fair hair, was barefoot. I had not noticed the face. I was too frightened and anxious to get away from there. And there's a story that a woman, it said she was a mother of her 3 children, and she had, one story says she had her baby carriage there. She was sitting and talking to another woman, and the baby carriage rolled down the hill into the lake, and she dove in to try to save the baby, and both the baby and her drowned. Another story is her child was kidnapped and drowned. And another one that a woman was boating with her toddler, and the toddler fell in the lake. She jumped in, to rescue the baby, and she drowned. And another one, a woman became pregnant in the 1920s or 30s, hid the pregnancy from her family. She dumped the child in the lake and killed herself in the lake. Many people claim to see this woman late at night searching for her baby around Stowe Lake, haunting her only home. She's usually not seen in the daytime. The woman is seen wearing a dirty white dress. Some accounts she's soaking wet. In all accounts she has long dark hair. She has an anxious look in her face and wanders the lake edge. She's also seen at times on the hill adjacent to the lake known as Strawberry Hill. Countless witnesses have seen this woman, and their accounts always describe her the same way for the last 100 years. Another hot spot at Stowe Lake is the Pioneer Women statue. There's a Pioneer Women and Children statue, and it's rumored that if one goes near the statue at night, weird things will happen. In one account, the lady comes up from the lake. In others, the statue near the lake comes to life where its face changes shape. Sometimes it has no legs or head. Other people report electrical issues. Another thing, some people say that if they see the lady come up from the lake coming towards them, if someone says, white lady, I have your baby 3 times, the lady will appear in front of them. She'll ask, have you seen my baby? If you say yes, she'll haunt you. And if you say no, then she'll kill you. No one has actually been killed to the best of anyone's knowledge. There's another story out there where this couple drove out there to Neck in their truck, and they heard cries of a baby coming from the lake and moaning coming from the statue, and they took off like a bat out of hell. So that's Stowe Lake. Now, there's a book, The Haunted Places of San Francisco. I'm going to get that, and next month when I get another SD card for my camera, I'm going to take a special day trip to San Francisco, and I'm going to start doing videos of the haunted places of San Francisco. I also found 2 ghost walk guys, one here in downtown Martinez and one in San Francisco, that you can do ghost tours. They want about $25, and the tours take about an hour and a half. The one in Martinez don't take that long, because downtown Martinez, you go like this and you're done. Thank you if you've just seen downtown Martinez. But they charge around the same rate. But I'm going to see if I can talk to them, get them on film and interview them, and ask them about how they started doing ghost tours. So, let's see. Do I have anything else here? Nope, that's it. Alright, this is the guy from Pittsburgh. I will look for weird news later today, see what I can find, listen to more Noory. I was listening to his interrogation tactics show where our idiot government is only using lie detectors to interrogate suspects, Al-Qaeda types. They've been trained how to get past those. Hell, I did that once when I had a job application at Circle K. The guy gave me the test. I passed it, and I said, I bet you I can beat your machine. And we got to talk, and they said, okay, I'll run it again. But I said, before you turn it on, let me control myself for a minute. I controlled my breathing. I was perfectly calm, and every question he asked me, I lied to, and they all came up as right. That none of them came up as a lie. If you steel yourself to believe what you're saying, it doesn't register a falsehood. That's why the lie detector is phony. People can beat it. Okay, this is the guy from Pittsburgh, Free Art Bell. Hello, Bell Gab Lurkers. And hello, my mod, just 6998. I hope he can figure a way to find that picture out there and post it on my site. And if someone can teach me how to put these pictures into my videos, I'd sure appreciate it. And I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.